You know, a topic that comes up often with our families is going to amusement parks. And there's many different amusement parks. We have Disneyland, we have Six Flags, we have SeaWorld, all those different places. And it's a very interesting topic, so I just wanted to touch on it quickly. One thing to think about is when you're thinking about taking your children on an event like that, or a family event, maybe there's multiple children, think about the ages of the children, but not only that, think about their developmental age. A lot of times we feel pressured to take all our kids to Disney World before they turn 5. Maybe it's not appropriate for your kids to go at that age. Maybe you wait till they're a little older. Sometimes the difference in the enjoyment of the trip could be just waiting a year. So I would really talk to your clinician, think about what would be best for your family. Don't feel pressured to take a trip if it's not the right time to an amusement park, because really it can be a disaster if you don't handle it appropriately. But I'm going to give you a couple of tips to think about that I've learned on amusement parks, and I have successfully taken my kids to amusement parks, and it's been fine, but I waited a little longer with my kids, honestly, and I think it was better. So think about that. The other thing to think about at the amusement parks is many of our amusement parks, if you have a child with a diagnosis, they have a service or an area, a customer service area that you can go and get a pass. What that pass does is that allows you to go to the front of the line or expedite. And for many of our kids, waiting in a line for 2 hours is going to be a nightmare for you. It's going to end up being amusement park hell rather than amusement park happiness. So check in, make sure you do your research on the parks before you go. Make sure you plan out what things are available at that park. You may need to have safety spots to go or cool down places to go. If you're there for a long period of time, you have heat, you don't know what your climate's going to be like, you don't know what kind of food they're going to have there. Make sure you really plan and you know that amusement park and you know what services are available for you. Oftentimes, some of our families find it's better to stay in hotels that are actually on those properties because it allows them the opportunity to escape and maybe get a stamp on their hand to return later. So when you plan these trips, again, as I always say, think about your children, and in the worst possible moment, what will you need as a refuge if things go south? So think about that. And also think about how you pair up your kids on the different rides. Maybe you plan on visiting certain sections of the park that work better. Maybe your child is more prone to water play and they have a water park. You want to kind of phase or plan your day so that you know what's going on from moment to moment. Many times I think the most difficult times with our population of clients is when you don't and you just spontaneously go through a park and you end up in a place where the child doesn't have what they need for that particular moment in time, which produces a long meltdown. So I think prior planning prevents poor performance, and that's a quote we hear a lot. But with our kids, really, it's an important thing to do. I know oftentimes a vacation should not be planned and it should be spontaneous, but I'd rather see you have a good time and put some planning into it than not. So again, think about your park, think about your distances, how you're going to travel, and what is involved in that park. And you know what? Maybe it's okay for you to go early in the morning and not stay in the afternoon when it might be hot. Or maybe to go early in the morning, come back and take a nap and go in the evening. Really think about what works best for your family. And also talk to your therapist about it. I plan oftentimes for travel. I can make suggestions to a family I'm working with on a particular client. So, you know, we want you to have fun and enjoy your family. So enjoy the parks.